guys are sitting over here in the corner having a enlightening conversation. Okay.
So, you think we should go to the king?
I give Risa a look. They need to be maybe not the king. I mean, I don't think the king would see us. I mean, we're a bunch of nobodies. But
close.
I would like to get to someone of authority so they know what's going on in this sector. So, I mean...
You'd think he'd recognize Raisa.
No. I'm just gonna mumble under my breath.
I'm sure there are some physical similarities. What?
Okay. What am I missing?
Raisa's mumbling under her breath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's getting very shy and nervous.
Alrighty.
You wouldn't have to go along, well, you would go along, but not like directly when we have that meeting. Right? That makes sense? I mean, whatever you're comfortable with.
Get away. Go on. I want none of your business. Go.
What?
What was that?
What was that?
Just stuff you're hearing in the inn.
Oh.
I gathered that, But yeah, anyone have any other ideas of what we could do?
Did we hear that loudly? Where did it
We
come
did,
from?
yes.
Yeah, the three... It was from over here. And I was moving icons around and stuff happened.
Oh. Okay.
But y'all were so engrossed there, I guess you ignored it.
Oh, I'm zoomed in on our table. I didn't see shit.
Oh, that's your own stupid fault, then, isn't it?
Oh, man.
I mean, we could just, go our separate ways and, retire. Because you know how well that works for us. Right? Am I right, guys? Funny?
I think almost all of us have nowhere to go rather than...
About 47
I have a
pounders, thank you
place.
for the follow.
Oh, you have a place. Well, that's good for you.
Well,
Seldors,
that's-
thank you for the follow.
But, I mean, clearly there's a place you can call home in this all big wide world of
Everito, thank you for the
components.
follow.
I mean, really?
Home is wherever I'm at the
Well, how could the orphan have a place that he calls home? And you guys with family don't. Or do you not have family? I actually don't. Marlo.
No, I'm also an orphan, but I like...
Right, we talked about that. Okay.
I don't know who my parents are, and I don't care. That's not... I mean, they gave birth to me, and I appreciate that, but...
We don't want your drinks. Now go away. I won't tell you again.
I was gonna say.
I was just trying to be friendly, Jesus!
I was gonna comment. I could see you moving the icons, and I was gonna say Raisa has got our eyes kind of
Okay, yeah.
watching and listening.
And hearing this, Marlo stands up.
Well,
I'll take your drinks!
What it looks like, basically, is there is an elf towering over a halfling. The halfling was holding holding 3 drinks, but they've just been knocked clear out of his hands, and they're now on the floor. And the elf is cowering, staring above him, menacing looking, glowering at him. And he's like,
I do apologize for trying to buy you a drink, Your Highness. Oh, obviously you're beneath me. Well, I'm beneath you, actually. But, you think you're above me, but, in fact, you're taller than me, but you're not above me, if you have an understanding.
There is good alcohol being wasted over here. What's going on?
turns away and mumbles, and goes wandering. He says,
Fine. I'll find somebody else to grace my presence with.
Get back here, Marlo.
and he heads over and sits at the bar next to this guy. As soon as he sits down, you see him immediately lean in and start,
Hey, can I buy you a drink?
and they start chit-chatting. Okay.
They're throwing alcohol over here.
The elf, the elf kind of after he's watched him go, he comes and sits back down.
I'm gonna go over to grab Marlowe, and kind of eye the elf a little bit.
Well, it's 3 elves, in fact.
3 elves. Wow.
There's
I will eye all
a
3.
female elf over here. You have a elf here that is what you guess is some kind of either woodland ranger or warrior, and
Okay.
this guy right here who is decked out in all kinds of finery. He's got like
Right.
a huge, big, flowing cloak that is made of fabric to look like oak shields. He actually has like a bit of a deer horn, like a deer skull helm. His kind of greenish yellow tunic and breeches and everything are all like ornate, and like have a whole bunch of like gold filigree all throughout and stuff like that. He's obviously somebody of some importance.
Okay.
He's fancy.
I apologize for my friend. I'm gonna kind of say to the table.
Okay, they glance at you. And the female elf, kind of leans in and looks and squints a little bit. And stares for a moment. And she's like, oh. And looks somewhat disgusted.
I know that look.
Hello? Were you staring at my ears?
Okay, she kind of looks at you. And she says, considering you seem to take great pleasure in hiding them, no.
I'm not hiding them. I just have my hood up at the moment.
I just noticed that it's been up since you walked in here. Are you ashamed of who you are? Are you hiding your nature?
Of course she's not. Kia has the cutest ears.
This all makes perfect sense. Oh, never mind. Go back. Sorry to have bothered you. Go back about your business. And she leans in and just kind of leans in and whispers in Elvish.
Listen, check.
Something to this. Okay.
Okay.
Use those ears of yours.
Use these ears of mine.
Can I hear them too?
You definitely won't hear this whisper. Ooh,
Yes!
Here.
Natural 20!
Yeah, from the other side of the tavern, there's no way you'll hear them whisper.
All right, fair enough.
Let's have a look here. And let's go ahead
Oh,
and
yes.
give Kia the first 20 of the evening.
Whoa!
Way to go. Okay, yes, in Elvish, you hear... She consorts with those kind of people. Clearly we understand where her loyalties lie.
Can I hear this?
It's Elvish.
Damn.
Do you speak
I wouldn't
Elvish?
understand her. I cannot.
Even if you heard, you didn't hear what it was anyway.
Excuse
So
me.
I hear Elven gibberish. Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Elf is whispering.
they all kind of look, the two on the right look at you. The one that's wearing the big cloak doesn't even hold eye contact. He's just sitting there kind of like quietly staring at the table.
I'm gonna say, my name is Kiliana, and I will bow slightly. What brings you to these parts?
At which point the elfin male puts his hand on her shoulder like to stop her. And he says, your contradictory nature to your own blood can only have been learned from squandering an age amongst humanity. Now, if you don't mind...
That one's fancy and that one uses big words.
So what are you, royalty or something?
The woman's kind of, she's... We don't know the manner of your nature of your affliction, she says, and we shouldn't judge her without proper comprehension of her familiarity.
My familiar? And I have Cal pop his head out.
Okay, she says...
She uses big words
She
too.
kind of looks at you. She says, I'm merely saying that my companion shouldn't judge you. Obviously something is wrong with you, and clearly you have spent way too many years amongst humanity because you clearly have no understanding of your own kind, my dear.
Are you making
see.
fun of Kia's ears again? Because her ears are
Marlo,
amazing.
shh. Do you guys live here? Or are you just passing through?
Okay, she looks horrified that you'd even say that. And then the male elf, again, he like raises his hand and he says, "Of course we don't live here.
Oh, right. 'cause
Why
you're
would we
too
live
big for this
in
place.
a community filled with humankind? Clearly this is not where we live, but the very fact that you would ask a question answers more questions than I could possibly request be answered in one foul statement."
So
Now,
why
if you
the
would
fuck are
please
you here?
Excuse me? At which point the guy with the golden cape, he like looks up, he looks at them, and they immediately like shrink in their chairs. He glances at you, and you feel this like air of like there's this radiance about the man as he says, "Your adoption of an alternative culture and election of human ways places you beyond my sight and will. Now go!" And he kind of just glares at you with like almost like fire in his eyes.
Does it actually scare Kia? Is there a some kind
If
of
it does, it does.
charm?
If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, there is no fire in his eyes, but he's like seems to
Well,
be
there's
totally
no need
offended
to
by your
shout.
presence.
What does Raisa do at this point? I'm curious. In Radovan.
Well, I'm watching them, and I was just actually going to ask if I could do a knowledge nobility check on them.
You can try, yes.
Good idea.
If I notice, anything particular.
Okay.
17.
Nothing like to pinpoint, but clearly he is somebody of a very high status in the wood elven community. The clothing and the stuff that he wears, the very cape, suggests that he is someone of serious notability and worth. Probably not to the extent of, like, he's not like an elven king, because the fact that he's here is not
Right.
lightly, but clearly he's somebody of major elven status, like someone,
Okay, and Rachel
know.
would definitely recognize that.
yeah.
So as soon as he gets loud,
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that
starts
happens,
sinking
the whole inn
lower
goes quiet.
and lower. She's pretty much under the table. at this point. She does not want to be seen by these people. I'm sure they've seen her, but she doesn't want to be seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Kia wanted to know where I am.
Just
That's
no
where
Katie. What's up, Katie?
Well, there's
Okay.
no need to shout.
Well,
Okay, the
No,
male
if
elf.
he's gonna talk to people like that, he doesn't even know us.
The male elf says, "Lord Skeldanis, let me remove her from your sight, seeing as her elven ears are so clogged with human ways that they no longer function." And he just kind of looks at him.
Swiftly move away quickly. I have a comeback, but I will hold my tongue and walk over up here and sit down with a loud sigh.
Alrighty. The halfling looks at you and grins with a big smile on his face. "Alton Linderbrook, at your service. Never mind those pompous ways of theirs. They've got too many twigs in their britches. That's obviously the problem."
Do you know them?
Know them? No. Know of them? Well, I know their kind, let's just say that. So what brings you to Finnerton then? Would you like a drink?
Tell me more about them.
Well, they're elves. What else is there to say?
You know of their kind. What are they doing here?
I don't know. I was attempting to acquisition a request from them and was greeted by little more manners than you were. Hoity-toity fellows seem to think they're so high and mighty. I don't know quite why they took offense at you. You're one of theirs, after all.
Come,
Never seen them
sit
behave
with me
that
in
way,
my-
to be honest. They've always been
sit with
extremely
me.
polite.
and
Well, I
my
am
friends
sitting with
over
you,
in the
woman.
corner.
I'm right
in
next
the
to you.
corner with my friends. Let's go. Bring your drinks.
I don't have any drinks, but if you'll just hold
Okay.
on a second.
I'm already walking away.
Okay. He scurries after you with a pint in his hand and sits right here in the corner. Okay, Radovan, you have got up and moved over in that direction, and Marlo is still standing right there in front of this dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you two up to?
I'm narrowing my eyes and getting right at this guy's eye level. I don't appreciate how you talk to my friend.
Immediately,
You are obviously somebody
the
important
female
to
elf
elves.
has snatched her bow and is like within lightning speed, like, and there's an arrow pointing at you. The other guy leaps up from the table, and as he does so, pulls out the scimitar and his buckler and lands next to you. He says, "Step away now.
Marlowe?
Shoot.
Shit. Can I?
The girl says, "And I will. There'll be 3 arrows, 1 in each eye socket and 1 in your mouth before you can blink if you dare speak to him again."
Marlowe? Marlowe.
I'm gonna have Cal kind of walk over there with an invisibility spell just in case he needs to touch and turn.
I don't care
invisible.
who you are. You can't talk to people that way.
Marlowe?
Okay. The guy with all the regalia, he kind of raises one hand and he says, "Settle yourselves down. She's not going to harm anybody. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand our ways. She doesn't realize the offense that this outsider has brought to us."
So I am going to speak to the guy in the robes, in the regalia,
Okay.
in Elvish, because I
Okay.
do speak
Ooh,
Elvish.
good
And
job.
I'm going to say, I apologize for my friends. We do not wish any conflict or trouble. If we keep the peace, I can get her away from your table and she'll never bother you again.
He said, "That would be very wise. You're a
Marlowe,
priest of St. Cuthbert, are you not? A learned man."
in Elvish, I do say, yes, I am.
Okay, in Elvish, he replies, he says, "Step forward."
I do. Obviously, I don't have any weapon drawn, even though my token shows that I have.
Yeah,
a weapon
obviously,
drawn.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to make a mistake here.
Yeah, he kind of, lowers his voice, not to a whisper, but to a low, calm, quiet. He says, "We take our heritage very seriously. To see one of potentially noble birth to behave in such a way and consort in such a manner is an offense to us. Our bloodline is watered down enough as it is. The next thing that we know, she'll be consorting with a human, as obviously she is. Not that we have any hatred or disregard for your kind, but clearly our kind does not belong in permanent company with such. It leads to terrible things, monstrosities and abominations. Our line and your line should never mix blood. We have no consideration or no understanding of why anybody would wish to do such a thing, and to see one of our kind so fragrantly acting in such a human nature is quite honestly both disgusting and disturbing. Please disregard my colleagues here. They only act to defend and protect their noble lord. They are very impetuous. After all, both of them are less than 300 years old."
Couple of my lifetimes. And I do say that in Elvish, and I do kind of chuckle to show that I'm being facetious. Like, I'm being silly with that.
Right. He looks at you and he says, "We obviously have no interest in causing you or your friends any injustice or ill will. We would merely like to be left alone to discuss our own business in seclusion, if you don't mind."
And once I get this monk away from the table, you will have your peace. And regardless of what you think of Kia, she is my friend. And as a friend and nothing more, I assure you, she's not going to be mixing her blood with anybody in a long time.
Okay. I mean, the male elf, the younger one, on the other side, actually, like a very slight smirk begins to attempt to come at his mouth, but almost quickly he quells it. The one that you're talking to, his face remains completely stone the entire time, like no emotion is seen in it whatsoever. And he says, "Well, to demonstrate we have no ill will, please, whatever you desire here in this establishment, help. Just tell them that I will be paying for it."
That'll probably get the monk off your back much sooner. I don't personally drink myself, but I will relay the message, and she will dine and probably get out of your face. and stop harassing you.
He says, well, a bottle of whatever it is that takes her fancy, by all means, is our way of apologizing for somehow offending her. I realize that she probably thought we were being hostile towards her friend, which, to an outsider, it would seem that that is the case, but understand it is only appropriate in our society.
I understand. And have a good day.
You speak funny words, Radovan.
Well, these gentlemen, if you return to my table, Marlowe, are going to buy you the finest bottle of mead in this establishment. Just leave them alone, please. Shall we?
They're bribing us?
It's an offering of peace, Marlowe. I really suggest
So he
you
said
take
he
it.
was sorry.
He did actually say he was sorry.
Okay. Apology accepted. You have nice clothes.
Okay, he's like,
And just back up. Come on, Marlowe. And I grab her by the wrist and I'm like gently. I mean, not like forcefully.
yeah, it's fine.
Bye.
Obviously.
Okay, you take the drunken monk back to your table then.
Yes.
How much of what they said was Risa actually able to hear?
Make
you
a
bet your
listen,
bottom
make a
she was
listen
listening.
check. Everything up until the point where he pulled Radovan in close and spoke quietly, you could have heard plainly. Once he did that, he wasn't whispering. 17. Yeah, you had to. You kind of really had to like.
Well, basically, I want to know.
But you got the
did
gist
she
of the conversation
hear
for sure.
The elven doesn't mix with human
Yes.
abomination.
Oh, absolutely,
Heard
yeah.
that?
She
Okay, so yes,
definitely
this
heard-
was appropriate then.
She definitely heard that part. Yeah.
This was
Then I
appropriate.
am patting Risa with one hand and gripping my cup very forcefully with the other. Obviously, so mad
as
and
Spook
being
says.
silent.
It's probably a good thing
the
that
halfling at
Marlo
this
couldn't
point-
understand any of that.
Pops
Yeah.
up from behind the pops up behind the table and says, "Told you, twigs in the britches." So what brings you fellows to Fillerton then? Oh, he kind of looks as the monstrous plate-mailed figure moves in behind him. He says, looks up at you and he says, what about you? Would you like a drink?
I only drink water. Little one.
El Salvador, thank you for the follow.
I just thought of a terrible thing that Marlo just almost said.
Fallout Ninja
You
and the
want
Rev
Hobbit.
Jesse, thank you for the follows as well. I missed you guys in our moment of roleplay. Okay, and he says, now, you, on the other hand, as he points directly at Marlowe, you'll have a drink with me, won't you, my rosy-cheeked little friend?
I sure as hell will.
Marlo, how about you trade seats with me so you can sit next to this guy? Because he seems to be up your alley. Sorry.
He looks at you and he says, trust me, I've been up more than one alley that I shouldn't have been.
Okay.
And
That's okay.
if you and I have
I
enough to
give-
drink, well, I do have a room upstairs, my dear. We'll see how it goes.
I give Marlo and him a wide berth.
Okay, at that point he leans in and he says, so let me ask my question again. What brings you to Finnerton?
First of all, who are you? Was that what you were gonna say,
No,
Marlo?
Alton Linderbrook.
Yeah, but who are you? Do you live here?
Oh no,
Why
I
should
don't
we
live
talk
here.
to you?
Well, because I'm friendly and considering the welcome that you've received from the local establishment so far, I thought perhaps you wouldn't mind having somebody come and talk to you that wasn't going to try to ram a sword down your throat or pincushion you with a long arrow.
Right. Well, if you have any weapons, I think you should take them out now.
Why, are we fixing to have a fight?
Nope. I just
Can you go
don't
invisible?
trust people.
Oh, fair enough. Shh. He pulls out a very short sword and lays it on the table. He pulls out a hand axe and lays it on the table, and he reaches in behind his back, pulls out a dagger, and then he goes, oh, one more! Gets inside of his boot and pulls out a boot dagger and lays it on the counter as well.
Thank you. What was that, Marlo?
I was asking him, can he go invisible?
Oh, no, unfortunately not. Being someone of my size, don't normally have to, but I can make sure I'm not seen if it's appropriate.
So, you don't have any rings on you.
Rings.
Be careful with rings.
Oh, have I
I've
heard the whole "let's take a trip to Mordor" joke? I've heard that so many times, it busts my side.
I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you.
Well, funny you should say this, but I do have something I shouldn't have, and I want it less than my need for it. You, on the other hand, might want it more, and desire it greatly more than the gold in your pockets, which I would want and desire more than what you're wanting for me, if you make, if you understand what I'm saying.
You talk fast.
Holy Cuthbert.
I'm gonna slowly get off the floor, by the way.
I'm speaking plain common. I don't understand why it's so difficult to understand.
You see that bottle of mead?
I've seen the
No,
bottle
you
of
don't,
a couple of
'cause
them.
It's a bottle.
He says,
There used to be mead in it.
well, I've been here since early this morning, and I've had 3 halves of ale, and I'm on my 4th, which is a whole pint. I don't usually drink mead. Goes straight through me.
You're a funny little guy.
I don't know about... Well, I'm little, and I suppose I'm funny. Humorous, I suppose you mean?
Of course, sure.
Honestly, what's your name, sir?
Oh,
Miss
I'm
Frodo?
sorry. For the umpteenth time.
Alton.
It's Alton. I'm sorry.
Lindbergh.
You
Alton
speak very
Lindbergh.
you speak very fast, and
I do apologize. I will try
this-
to take a deep breath and slow down.
well, I just want you to
No.
understand that this party, this group of people that I'm traveling with, have not only been through a whole lot of stuff, but we've been through a whole lot of dangerous stuff, and a lot of it by people we were trusting that turned on us. So that's why they're wary. That's why they're cautious.
You see,
'cause
it is fortuitous that I should stumble across you then. I mistakenly took the elven fellows in the corner for similar folk, but I was mistaken. Obviously, you, on the other hand, by your own admittance, are exactly the type of people I am looking for.
Fortuneness indeed. What do you
Luke
want?
the War God, or thank you for the follow. He says, well, let me try to break it down in easier to understand terms for someone not of my, my racial standing. I've got something. I don't want it anymore, but you might. What I would like instead is to be rid of it
Is it a
and
disease?
get, oh, absolutely not.
Good, I don't want one of them.
I'm glancing here at that fine shield that he's carrying, and that beautiful circlet upon her head, and
You
thinking
can't
to
have
myself,
them. Those belong to them.
No,
What
no,
do
no.
you have that you want to
I
give
was
them?
thinking that perhaps you would like more of that kind of stuff, like a lot more.
Are you talking magical items or just what?
No, not at all. As I said, and he kind of reaches inside his tunic and pulls out what appears to be the bindings of a book, like just so you can just see the edge of it. And it says
It's a book.
It says the history of Renison the Creator. He says, "Do you know what this is?"
It's a book.
Do we
He
have to
says
do a
she's
knowledge?
obviously had a lot to drink, hasn't she? Bless her.
I don't care how much I've had to drink. I know a book when I see one.
Why was that?
Marlo, I congratulate you for being able to pull Shiggles out of the man. Shiggles, hi. Look, the whole reason this emote even exists is for things like this.
This whole conversation is just ridiculous. All right, I'm calm. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
The Book of Rivelton or Rivelton?
The history of Renison the Critter. Okay, so
Alright,
Racer, you
cool.
said you wanted to make a history check.
Oh, I just said, can we roll to see if we know, and what do we need? So history? I don't have that.
You could use Knowledge Arcane, would work, or
Knowledge history?
Knowledge history would work, yes.
Oh, how convenient.
Because that's the one I actually freaking have a good thing of. Oh my god.
Yay!
Congrats
Woohoo!
to the 14 people.
Yay, 14 people, just one currency because you can't roll good.
What?
Yay!
Look at all those people.
one.
I'm so glad. Look at them, everyone's happy. Yeah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. If you picked Shagit as the first person to roll a 1 tonight, you just won. A whole bunch of you won.
Yay! Congrats.
All those
guys.
people are so
Sorry,
happy.
Ace. I even tried to start a drunken fight where I get punched or shot in the face. It didn't work.
You're
Who
right.
would have thought that
So,
Radovan could
Radovan,
speak
no.
Elvish?
And Knowledge Arcane is the only other dice. If you don't, it's Knowledge History or Knowledge Arcane you could use.
So I know absolutely nothing, I'm assuming.
Nope.
All right.
A book. Wow.
I at least knew it was a book.
He says, it's not just any book. This book could get a fellow killed, and it almost has numerous times, and I'm sick of it, to be honest. You,
Does
on
it
the other
kill?
hand, probably could use it.
The killer book.
Why
Who's got
would you
killed?
give us a killer book?
I won't give it to you. That would be futile and silly on my part.
Why don't you just get rid of the book if you don't want
Because
it?
it's worth a fortune! You don't
Fire
understand.
of
Who
Mordor.
is that guy?
Shh! Listen.
What? Oh god.
He said, I can't believe that you, he goes, especially you, if you're some kind of finger wiggler, don't know who Renison the Creator is. Or was.
Rolled bad in life. What can I say?
I've been in the wilderness for like 50 years.
It was not in my hands of cards, my card of hands, or it's all, any other analogy works.
He says, well, Renison was a magical artificer. Many say one of the greatest ever to twiddle his fingers. Now, I won't bore you with the details, but to suffice to say, he become paranoid, you see, as everybody wanted his wares. It's all in the book. And there were those that were willing to resort to unsavory things to acquire them. In the end, they say he went quite mad and set about steering away all of his creations so no one could get their grubby little hands on them. This book has floated around for centuries, detailing his life and some of his creations, but no one knows where they are being hid, where his hidden treasures are. No one, that is, except me. I spent more than a few years researching this stuff and got nowhere. But then, by chance, I managed to put a few things together, and suddenly it became plain to me. I figured it out. You see, I've also got this old map. Now, the map by itself didn't really yield much information, to be honest, but once I managed to put 2 and 2 together with the map and started marrying together some facts, it brought me to an obvious conclusion. Now, this book and the map has passed through the hands of many a treasure hunter and adventurers over the decades, and none have ever found where the crazy old coot held up. But I believe I finally figured it out. I was going to attempt to get a team together and go after it. But now I feel declined to do so for my own personal reasons. So for the right price, I am willing to sell this book and my research. You have my word it's genuine, but it's of no minor value, so the price will need to be something very non-insulting. I will, however, sell it to you for a measly amount compared to its real value, because I need to get rid of it.
What's
I
an
just sensed
artist
motive.
art?
What are you rolling? What are you rolling for? I don't even know.
Oh, I was sensing motive.
I was doing the same thing.
Oh, okay.
20.
Well, before we do that,
Okay.
Bobby HDZ, Elsus, Ifganturelli, and Merzer Carlo. Thank you for the follows.
Thank you.
Okay. And Kia, you can have this
Natural 20!
for your second natural 20 of the
Yeah.
night.
Winner, winner.
Chicken dinner.
Okay, sense motive. He's obviously scared. of something, and
Okay.
seems to be very interested in offloading this. Whether he's telling the truth about the whole thing without you having any understanding of it, you can't really tell.
Okay. Then I'll say to him, I sense that you're scared.
As
Why are
I
you
told
so
you,
scared?
more than once someone has tried to kill me to get their hands on this book.
So you're the person you meant when you said someone has almost been killed, and it's you.
Yes, a couple of times.
Does the
I'm
book
just a
have
very
a
little
picture?
fellow, and I don't really have the means to protect myself from unsavory fellows, but we're very close to where I believe the stash is. That's what brought me to Finnerton. Now, if you're willing to pay, and I mean pay, I am more than willing to give you my research and tell you how to find this. If you was to just read this book, I don't believe that there is a coin that you possess that you would not happily give to gain access to what might be left there. What is left there? Fact.
How do you know you can trust him?
I don't. But I also know that with those elven fellows over there, and already taking a dislike to you, I've got a couple of things up my sleeve that would get them on my side very quickly should I need to make a very quick escape.
You sound very resourceful for someone who's scared nearly to death.
Well, let's think about it this way. Over the decades, so many different people have tried to acquire this and have never figured it out, and I have. What does that tell you?
Well, you were asking us to hand over coin for stuff that you assure us is valuable.
Now, I understand, so I'm more than willing to... I realise that you are a priest of St. Cuthbert, yes?
This is accurate, yes.
I have had dealings with your sort in the past, and I believe that you have the ability to make me tell the truth, or know if I'm telling a lie. I would more than happily, upstairs, well, or here, I really don't care to be honest, forego any type of test or magical inquisition that you might want to bestow upon me to find out if I'm telling the truth, to be honest.
I've seen these attempts be foiled in the past and failed.
Well, how
But,
about...
How about you let us read from that book? With you in the room, obviously. So we could ascertain some of the information to see how legit and worthwhile it is.
Well, we can definitely do that, but you're going to have to give... If I'm going to hand you the book to read, there's two conditions. One, I have to know that you're even seriously interested in what I'm talking about, because if you're not, I'm wasting my time and yours. Two, if I'm going to hand you the book, you're going to have to hand me something of great value to hold as collateral until you put the book back in my hands.
Cows.
Book.
Just kidding.
So I'm. What was that, babe? Sorry.
I was gonna say, well, you can hold the book when we read it.
Oh,
I
I
was
can
gonna
hold it up if you want me to, and you can peruse it.
It would make you feel more comfortable.
Toxic Skull, Nightly, Deadly Ninja Pro, and Bottle Kids. Thanks to those follows, guys.
I was
Oh,
honestly.
nice one.
I was honestly going to offer my Morning Star.
He says,
Wow.
may I see it momentarily?
I heft it and put it on the table.
Yeah, but it's not magical though, is it? So it probably isn't that valuable.
It's valuable to me.
But not to me.
You have to. So I'm going to be trying to be diplomatic here, and I'm going to say, listen.
How about you just let him look at the book and I won't punch you in the face?
Now, drunkard one. There's no reason to get violent, my dear.
It's just a book.
It's not just a book.
Listen, this Morning Star is the only connection I have to anything resembling a past life. It has great value to me. And if you were to steal it from me, I would honestly, legitimately be heartbroken. It is not magical, but its value and sentiment is far surpassing any magical item I own. And
Sounds
I'm
reasonable.
going to
Fair
be
enough.
diplomatic. Do I have to do a diplomatic roll? Because I was trying to be diplomatic.
No, you don't. He says, all right. He takes the book
You'd
out.
be careful with that Morning Star. Don't
Slides
you
it
lose my
across the
friend's,
table to
my
you.
friend's thing.
And puts a hand on your Morning Star and begins to slide it to him, unless you're going to stop him.
Nope, I'm I'm gonna kind of wince, but I'm also gonna scooch close to Kia.
Okay.
So
As he's kind of looking at you, staring you in the eyes. He says, a lot of pain and suffering is attached to this, isn't it?
you have no idea.
Oh, I think I have more of an idea than you might think.
Well,
You know a lot,
My
Marlo,
business to know things.
smarty.
is the book on our side? Because I want to put it so
Yes.
Risa and Kia can read it too. That's
Uh-huh.
why I scooched, unfortunately, much closer to Jane.
Alright, then.
Well, I mean, it's an entire book, first of all. So it's not going to be something you can read quickly. But there are a couple of pages in the book that he's like, put like little paper folds over, like as markers.
Okay. I'll probably turn to those then. See what it looks like.
Alrighty. So let's show you. Well, here is the book. Let me show you the book itself.
Ooh.
Did you see it?
No.
Good, because I didn't want to show you anyway. I got
I was just excited that you were showing me books. Sorry.
Alrighty.
1,
And
2.
there.
Murata and Nick 2. Yeah.
There it is.
There you go. Okay, so that's the book, The History of Renison the Creator. And I'm sorry chat can't really see it very well because it's just the way that Roll20 pops it up. The best I can do is that. There you go. You can see it a little better now. Okay, so you're going to turn to the first tagged page. And either I can read it out loud or you can all read it your darn self. That's up to you.
Probably read it out loud, I guess, mostly for chat.
All right.
Oh, that is. Never mind.
Alrighty. And I just got rid of it. Go back. Okay, yeah, so you guys should be able to see it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is like keynotes. This is like the pages that seem to have mattered most to him. So it says, as an apprentice, Renison showed a great aptitude for artifice. In fact, after only a few years of study, he viewed most other forms of magic and spells as by means to an end and mere tools of item creation. All the wealth he acquired over his many years was spent on magical construction, and soon he even funded his efforts by creating and selling wondrous magical items to those that had a need or desire and could afford the price. In his latter years, he had become so gifted that it was said that there was little he could not craft nor effects he could not bond to an item. Some desired his items but did not have a desire to pay for them. Several attempts to take his work by force all failed. He became of suspicious mind and reclusive. He refused to deal with anybody, and no longer would he make items for commission or for sale for profit. Instead, he began to work on a safe haven for his work and himself. He crafted a lair with but one way in and no way out save that of an exit in his main chamber that only his form could open. The lair was filled with means to thwart those who sought to take his work from him, yet allowed the attempt of it. This was his form of revenge on those that had betrayed him and on a society that had wronged him. The
So,
second page.
Am I able to do something like with, I don't know, maybe forgery to detect and see if it looks like the book is all consistent?
You can use appraisal.
Yeah, so I just want to basically see if it looks like some key pages were added for sale factor, like...
Sure, go ahead and roll.
Oh, fuck.
From what you can tell, the pages
great.
are of an equal age to the others. Could be a forgery, but it's from what you can tell, it appears legit anyway.
Perfect.
Okay. The other page he has tagged says, none have seen Renison for centuries. There are rumors that from time to time he emerged and gifted some of his creations to those he deemed worthy, scrying from within his chamber to find individuals of worth. Some say he even bartered a few for his needs while living a solitary and reclusive life below ground. It is certain that some of his work remains sealed away in what is also probably the last resting place of the great Renison. Items of note that he had created were varied: figurines of wondrous power, great weapons, mystical jewelry, potions and elixirs, as well as magical rods and staves. Some of his final creations were rumored to be of a magical nature rarely or ever seen. Mystical items that had the power of attunement. Yet while a few spoke of in conversation with him on the subject, no such items were ever seen or acquired. It was also discussed by some magical scholars that if indeed such items did exist, identifying them and gaining the knowledge of how to use them correctly could be possibly problematic at the best. Yet it was widely agreed upon that if indeed such things did exist, they would be among some of the most valued in all of Arconis.
Is that the only couple pages that we're going to be looking at?
Yeah. I mean, the rest of it basically is the guy's life story about everything that happened to him, where he grew up, all that stuff. I mean, it's basically somebody wrote a book about this guy, like somebody studied him.
So I'm going to slide, when we're done, I'm going to slide the book back and then, hold my hand out for my Morning Star.
Okay, he hands it back.
I put it away.
Sure is an interesting story.
Was it really?
He said it's more than a story.
So how much do you want
I'll wait for the movies.
for all the stuff? If you were to sell it to us. I mean, you're basically asking us to guess, right?
No, I'm going to hand you the map.
No. You're asking us to guess a price. And then if you're insulted by said price, you can just say so, and then
Well,
it doesn't seem right,
no. What should we say? 5,000 gold? As I said, I mean, I'm willing to let you have it for a fraction of what it's worth just to get rid of it. Personally, it does me no good if I'm dead.
Well, who's going to go after us once they figure out we have it?
Well, if you go quickly there, which you're only a few days away, and deal with it, trust me, I'll take the 5,000 gold and head out of town. Even if they catch me, by the time they figure out I don't have it, you'll be long gone.
Why does this matter so much? Why can't he just live his life in his cave and be done?
Look, who? Who lived his life in his cave?
Oh, is he already dead?
Oh, long, yeah, centuries ago.
Okay. So why disturb it?
Well, don't then, if you're not interested. I just assumed that seeing as you seem
Just for
to have,
magical items?
I would have thought maybe of your kind it might be interesting, but if you're not, that's fair enough.
Why
I'm
would
not saying
you,
I'm not. I'm just trying to question you here.
Well,
Why
it's
would
pretty
you
obvious to
not
me.
just want to hire people to go with you? Why are you trying to give it away?
Well, you see, if I hire people to go with me, I'll still have it, and they'll be coming after me. And even if I hire you people, for example, to come with me, at the end of the day, if they catch me, I'll be dead, and then you'll probably be dead as well. So that
you're
wouldn't do
a
anybody.
coward. Okay. I got it. I understand.
Honestly, it seems
I don't
to
know
me...
why you're quite so offensive, to be honest. It must be the drink, I'm sure. And Space Muffins, thank you for resubscribing.
Space!
And Brayden and Highland Demon, thanks for the follows.
Honestly,
Thanks, guys.
why don't you, knowing where it is, just destroy the evidence, wait until your life is no longer threatened, and then at a later date reclaim the gold for the stuff for yourself?
And who am I going to get to go with me? If I've got no evidence to show anybody, who's going to take my word for it? Nobody.
Well, there are mercenaries and people who will do it. I mean,
And those mercenaries
Fair
would
enough.
probably kill myself too. I just want a shot of it. If you're not interested, that's fine.
No,
We'll
it
just
sounds
stop wasting our
interesting.
time.
Stop.
You just
no,
seem
no.
super eager to get rid of this thing.
Yes,
and
because
let us
somebody's
be
bloody
in
trying to
danger.
kill me, woman. I've told you twice.
Is there anyone in this tavern that's tried to kill you?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I don't
Are
think...
we safe here talking about this?
Probably not. But you seem to insist on wanting to do it right here and now, so here we are.
Yeah, I'm not one for subtlety. I'm sorry. It's not in my nature. More in their nature, and I gesture for Kia and Reza, but not mine.
Do we even have 5,000 gold?
Between us?
Yeah.
Probably?
Probably not.
Weren't we all given like 25 platinum?
Well, you all got 500 gold from his lordship, 250 up front and 25 platinum at the end, plus an additional 100. So that alone is 24. I don't know what you had before. I mean...
Oh, I have 1,700 gold.
So yeah, you're pretty close then. He's like, I mean, gems, jewelry, anything of worth. Trust me, I can tell the value of something pretty darn quick.
Well, what about that jewel that you almost died for with the shadow?
Actually, yeah, I'm
right.
gonna pull out when he says I can tell the value of something really quick.
This.
I'm gonna be like, what about this? And I'm gonna the gem I got off the shadow just clunk.
He looks at it. That'll probably be worth a fair few if it's real.
And I'm going to pull out my candelabra because I know where it's from. It's a very nice candelabra I stole from those thugs in my atonement quest.
Right?
And it's very wealthy. I mean, it's ornate. So I'm going to take that out and be like, and this?
And I'm going to take out
Marlo's gonna stay
1,000
quiet
gold.
because she doesn't trust this little halfling.
He says, well,
He sounds like a
May I?
salesman. Really
may I look
slick.
at your nice candlestick?
Go ahead, right there.
Picks it up, kind of squints at it, and like taps it like ding ding on the edge of the table and bites on it and looks. He says, I'd be willing to count this as a couple of hundred.
I take out 1,000 gold and I slam it. Like, I am interested in this. I have decided.
He says, if you'd like me to look at that gem, I
Oh,
could try to praise
please.
it. Okay, he picks it up in his halfling hand, it's huge. He's like, and he pulls out what appears to be like a small pocket glass and starts looking at it. He's like, the light in here. Hold on a second. And he kind of like leans it up and starts examining it carefully. He goes, I'll count this, and in a honest gesture, I would count this as a third of it.
Nice. Well, there's 1,000 more, so
He said, let's call this 2,000. There's your 1,000. He said, so that's 3.
Gonna kind of like just reach
on,
for the
guys.
gem back and kind of just sit it in front of me in my hands like this.
I look at Kia and I'm like, yeah. I say
Seeing
to
you kind
myself,
of like nursing your gem, he says, I'll be honest with you. If you was to find somebody that you could sell it to, you could might get 2.5. But in that form, it's not as valuable to me as gold. So I think 2,000 for an instant take it off your hands would be more than fair. But I want to be honest and prove that I am trying to be as fair as possible about this. So I have no interest in swindling anybody.
all right, I'm going to put 1,000 gold on the table too.
He says, so we're at 4,200 then. Gift Zone, thanks for the follow.
aren't you interested?
4,200.
Marlo, if
Square, thanks for the
anything,
follow.
if there's a hoard of treasure, it's probably protected by things you can punch.
Oh, no doubt.
I guarantee it. We've done this adventure kind of a thing in the past, and
Oh
we've
my
had
god, guys,
to.
I'm so sorry.
You got some-
Yeah, I'll put in the rest
Well,
of
we're
it.
fixing
It's fine.
we're fixing to go to break, so that will work. So if you
But
got
yeah, so
someone
we're
to
all
go-
putting our money in. We're good.